to walk. And I want to demonstrate the utility of the tools we have at our disposal. Let me see here. Concisely translate this message. I'm creating a universal sign language based on Esperanto. The first sign is to walk. Translate to the top 5 most spoken languages in the world.
Spanish estoy creando un lenguaje de señas universal inspirado en el Esperanto. El primer signo significa caminar. 我正在创业中基于世界语的通用手语。第一个手势的意思是走路。मैं एस्पेरांतो पर आधारित एक सार्वभौमिक सांकेतिक भाषा बना रहा हूँ। पहला संकेत चलना है। Arabic أنا أنشئ لغة إشارة عالمية مستوحاة من الإسبرانتو. الإشارة الأولى تعني المشي. French. Je crée une langue des signes universelle inspirée de l'espéranto. Le premier signe signifie marcher.
Not perfect, but I think it's a proof of concept. This is what the sign is. It means to walk. And now I imagine billions of people can now understand what just happened. Let's practice Esperanto. Give me intermediate level sentences to translate to English.
Sure. Here's the first Esperanto sentence. La vetero estas bela odiao. Let me know if you need it repeated.
So don't ask for more clarification, just give me the sentence, but repeat it, please.
La vetero estas bela odiao.
So what is the noun, the first noun?
The first noun is vetero.
What is that, the weather?
Yes, vetero means weather.
So the weather is beautiful today?
Correct.
Next.
Here's the next sentence. Mi ŝatas lerni novajn lingvojn.
I like to learn new languages.
Exactly.
Next.
Li voyagos al Francio morgaŭ.
One more time.
Li voyagos al Francio morgaŭ.
I will travel to France tomorrow.
Yes, that's correct.
Next.
Ŝi legas interesan libron.
She's reading an interesting book.
Correct.
Next. Next.
Ni manĝis ĉe nova restoracion hieraŭ.
We are eating at an interesting... Hold on, one more time. Give it to me one more time.
Ni manĝis ĉe nova restoracion hieraŭ.
So, what is the first word? I can't tell if you said li, ni, or me.
The first word is ni, which means we.
Okay, so we are eating at an old restaurant? I don't know if that's right.
Not quite. The sentence means we ate at a new restaurant yesterday.
Okay, next.
Here's the next one. Ili havas multajn amikojn en la urbo.
One more time.
Ili havas multajn amikojn en la urbo.
I have many friends in the city, or they have many friends in the city?
They have many friends in the city.
Okay, next.
Mi studas Esperanton ĉiutage.
What's the last word?
The last word is ĉiutage.
Any day, right?
It means every day.
Okay, what's the whole sentence again? Don't translate it, just give me the Esperanto sentence.
Mi studas Esperanton ĉiutage.
Okay, so I study Esperanto every day.
Yes, that's correct.
Next.
Here's the next one. Li komprenas la instruiston bone.
So, if you just joined, I'm creating Universal Sign Language based on Esperanto. I demonstrated the first sign, and this is that sign. And I'm sure you can already guess what it means because it's visually intuitive. But the first thing I did when I started my live is I translated a message to the top 5 most spoken languages in the world. So while only 4 people are here, I think the message could be understood by billions of people. So I'm gonna keep working.
Integrating visual.
Shut up. All right, let's keep practicing Esperanto. Give me more sentences to translate.
Certe, jen unu frazo. La suno brilas hele hodiaŭ.
So I've heard that sentence a few times. Give me something more nuanced.
Compreneble, kiel pri ĉi tio? La nokta ĉielo estis plena de steloj, brilantaj kiel diamantoj en la mallumo.
Well, I know you're talking about a beautiful night sky, but I'm missing some context. Help me.
Certe, kiel pri ĉi tio? En la trankvila urbeto, la antikva horloĝo sur la placo sonoris noktomeze, dum la loĝantoj ĝuis la silentecon de la nokto.
Wow. Okay, that's too long of a sentence to remember. Give me some shorter sentences.
Komprenite? Jen pli mallonga. La infano ridetis pro la bela floro.
Okay, one more time.
Li trovis antikvan libron en la malnova vendejo.
So he found an old book in an old store, something like that?
Yes, ĝuste. Li trovis antikvan libron en la malnova vendejo means he found an old book in an old store.
Okay, next.
La birdo cantis sur la branĉo.
Okay. The bird sang on the branch.
Yes, ĝuste. La birdo cantis sur la branĉo means the bird sang on the branch.
Okay. Next.
La vento blovis forte tra la campo.
Okay. Is campo field or something else?
Campo means field in Esperanto. So, la vento blovis forte tra
Don't
la
tell me.
campo means
It means the wind is blowing strongly
Libre-
on the field, something like that.
he prepared a cup of tea.
There's no way that's what that translation was.
Sorry for the confusion. Li preparis tason da teo translates to he prepared a cup of tea. Let me know if you'd like to try another sentence.
Next.
Ŝi trovis belan konkon sur la plaĝo.
Is konkon coconut?
Konkon means shell in this context. So, ŝi trovis belan konkon sur la plaĝo
Don't tell me.
translates
Don't tell me. She found an old shell on the beach, or a beautiful shell on the beach.
a beautiful shell on the beach.
Okay, next.
Li skribis leteron al sia amiko.
So he wrote a letter to his friend.
Yes, exactly. Li skribis leteron al sia amiko means he wrote a letter to his friend.
Next.
La infano desegnis sunon sur la papero.
So you're talking about a child, but I missed the ending. Repeat it.
La infano desegnis sunon sur la papero.
Desegni. What is desegni?
Desegnis means drew.
Okay, repeat the whole sentence.
La infano desegnis sunon sur la papero.
Okay. The child drew a sun on the piece of paper.
Yes, exactly. La infano desegnis sunon sur la papero means the child drew a sun on the paper.
Next.
Ŝi plantas florojn en la ĝardeno.
She is planting flowers in the garden.
Yes, ŝi plantas florojn en la ĝardeno means she is planting flowers in the garden.
Okay. Okay, let me see here. Shailin, hello. Are you an Esperantist? Okay. Continue.
Li legas libron sub la arbo.
Arbo, that's a tree, not a forest, right?
Yes, arbo means tree. So, li legas libron sub la arbo
Don't tell me.
means he is reading a book under the tree.
Okay. So arbaro is forest, right?
Yes, arbaro means forest.
Okay.
The sentence here refers to arbo, which is tree.
Next.
Las telos brillas en la cielo.
The stars are shining brightly in the sky.
Yes, las telos brillas en la cielo means the stars are shining brightly in the sky.
Okay, next. One second. Also, I just realized I responded to Shailin in the comment, but I did it from my other channel. But that was me that typed hey. Continue.
Si rigardis la sun subiron ce la marbordo.
One more time.
Si rigardis la sun subiron ce la marbordo.
Subiron, what is that?
Sun subiron means sunset.
Okay, repeat the sentence.
Si rigardis la sun subiron ce la marbordo.
Chir mar bordo. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Marbordo means seashore or coast.
Okay, so she's watching the sunset on the coast?
Exactly. Si rigardis la sun subiron ce la marbordo means she watched the sunset on the coast.
Can you break down the language of origin for mar bordo? I know it's, okay, just go ahead.
Sure. Marbordo comes from two Esperanto roots, maro meaning sea and bordo meaning shore or coast. So together, marbordo means seashore or coast.
Okay, the part that confused me is you use the beginning mal, which usually is like the opposite of something in Esperanto. Can you help me understand that?
Certainly. In this case, mar is from maro, meaning sea. It's not the prefix mal, which means opposite in Esperanto. So marbordo combines maro, sea, and bordo, shore, to mean seashore or coast.
Gotcha, understand. Next.
Li collectis ŝtonojn dum la promenado.
One more time.
Li collectis ŝtonojn dum la promenado.
What is tomoin?
Ŝtonojn means stones.
Stonoin?
Yes, ŝtonoj is the plural of ŝtono, meaning stones.
Okay, repeat the sentence.
Li collectis ŝtonojn dum la promenado.
Promenado. I think you already told me that word, but what is it again? Promenado? Walk, right?
Yes, promenado means walk or stroll.
You can make that a verb too, right? Promeni. Oh yeah, that's the first word. Yeah, walk. That's the one we just did.
Yes, exactly. Promeni is the verb for to walk or to stroll. You got it right.
Okay. So if anybody just missed what I did, when I started this live, I introduced the first sign of Signilo, which is the universal sign language that we're creating, and it's based on Esperanto. But yeah, that means to walk in English, caminar in Español. Y in Esperanto is promeni or marchi. Next.
Ŝi aĉetis freŝan fruktojn en la bazaro.
Besaro. Is that like a store, right?
Bazaro means market or bazaar.
So she bought fresh fruit at the market.
Yes, exactly. Ŝi aĉetis freŝan fruktojn en la bazaro means she bought fresh fruit at the market.
Next.
Li trovis trankvilan lokon por riposi.
What's the last word?
Riposi means to rest.
Okay, repeat the sentence.
Li trovis trankvilan lokon por riposi.
She found a calm place to rest.
Close. Li indicates he, so it means he found a calm place to rest.
Okay. Is there a way that you could slow down a little bit? Because it's hard to hear when you say she, li, ni, and me, which is very important.
Got it. I'll slow down when pronouncing those pronouns. If you need me to repeat anything or clarify, just let me know.
Continue.
Ŝi desegnis bildon de la nokta ĉielo.
One more time.
Ŝi desegnis bildon de la nokta ĉielo.
I know you just told me what that verb is, but I forgot it. Can you remind me?
Designis means drew or sketched.
So she drew birds in the night sky.
Close. She designis bildon de la nocta cielo means she drew a picture of the night sky.
So what was the word picture?
Bildon means picture.
What's the language of origin?
Bildon comes from the Esperanto root bildo, which is derived from the German word Bild, meaning image or picture.
Are there cognates in other European languages like that?
Yes, bildo is similar to the word Bild in German and Bild in Dutch, both meaning image or picture. It's also related to the English word build, referring to forming or constructing an image.
Next.
Li cantis canton sub la pluvo.
He sang a song, or he is singing a song during the rain?
Yes, li cantis canton sub la pluvo means he sang a song in the rain.
Next. Next.
Ŝi trovis malgrandan trezoron en la ĝardeno.
She found a small treasure in the garden.
Yes, ŝi trovis malgrandan trezoron en la ĝardeno means she found a small treasure in the garden.
Can we explore a more nuanced topic for this exercise?
Absolutely. Let me know what kind of nuanced topic you have in mind, and we can dive into it.
Just make it random.
All right, how about exploring a theme like art and creativity, focusing on different aspects of creating art?
Yeah, let's go.
Great. Let's start with this. Li sculptis statuon el ligno.
So anybody that's watching, I'm making a universal sign language based on Esperanto. Esperanto is the world's auxiliary language, and this is the first sign. And I guess we're building on the advantage of the visually intuitive nature of sign languages, because when I do this sign, every single person watching knows exactly what it means. And that's what we're building off of. And I think it may be interesting to note, the first thing I did when I started this live is I translated that message to the top 5 most spoken languages in the world. So while there's not very many people here watching, I think it can be understood by many people. And I'm gonna do this at least for the first 50 signs, and then we're gonna be making thousands of sentences using the signs we create. And that's gonna be the foundation of our language. Next.
Ŝi pentris muron per helajs kolorojs.
One more time.
Ŝi pentris muron per helajs kolorojs.
I know she's talking about painting a mural, right?
Exactly. Ŝi pentris muron per helajs kolorojs means she painted a wall with bright colors.
What is bright colors?
Helajs kolorojs means bright colors.
Helais. So break down the language of origin for those two words, bright colors.
Helais comes from the root hela, meaning bright or light. Colorois is the plural of coloro, which means color. These roots are similar to the Latin color and are found in many European languages with similar meanings.
Okay, so the word bright, I thought you were talking about ice. It sounds similar. Can you tell me about the difference?
Certainly, the word helais, for bright, starts with H and is pronounced with a softer H sound like helai. The word for ice, which is glacio, has a different root and pronunciation. The sounds might seem similar, but in context, they are distinct in Esperanto.
So I may be missing some context. What's the word for ice cream?
The word for ice cream in Esperanto is glaciaĵo.
Okay, maybe that's what I thought you said. Next.
Li desegnis detalan portreton de sia amiko.
What's the adjective?
Detalan is the adjective, meaning detailed.
So he drew a detailed portrait of his friend, or for his friend, I don't know.
Yes, li desegnis detalan portreton de sia amiko means he drew a detailed portrait of his friend.
So what's the difference between of and for in this case?
De en Esperanto, típicamente traducidos a of, indicando posesión o origen. Por would mean for, indicating purpose or intention. In the sentence, de si amigo specifies that the portrait is of his friend.
Okay, next.
She creis sculptajon el argilo.
Aquilo? What is aquilo?
Argilo means clay.
Okay. So repeat the sentence.
She creis sculptajon el argilo.
So she created a sculpture with clay, right?
Yes, she creis sculptajon el argilo means she created a sculpture with clay.
Okay, next.
Li componis melodion per sia gitaro.
Nice. One more time.
Li componis melodion per sia gitaro.
So I know you're saying you created a melody with a guitar, I think you said, but repeat it one more time.
Li componis melodion per sia gitaro.
Okay. Are you saying composed? So he composed a melody with his guitar?
Yes, exactly. Li componis melodion per sia gitaro means he composed a melody with his guitar.
Next. Next.
She creis unican desegnajon per aquareloj.
One more time.
She creis unican desegnajon per aquareloj.
What is the last couple words you said?
Per aquareloj means with watercolors.
Okay, so she created a unique drawing with watercolors?
Yes, exactly. She creis unican desegnajon per aquareloj means she created a unique drawing with watercolors.
Next.
Li skribis poemojn en sia notlibro.
Okay. So the whole reason I'm doing this, number one, I think it's really helpful for me to be able to practice Esperanto. And I do have an Esperanto speaker that wants to come and help me do a podcast. So it's really just me preparing to do that. But really what I want to do is demonstrate that the tools we have right now make pursuing a universal auxiliary language actually practical for the first time in human history. You know, for pretty much the entire human existence, it's been impossible. For the past couple of decades, it's just been impractical. But now, it's actually something that we could accomplish. I really think that it's something that, you know, I don't even want to say it's something we should do. It's just easy and it's practical. And I think that I'm going to spend a lot of time doing it. But anyone that's watching, we're making Universal Sign Language. This is the first sign in the Universal Sign Language we're making. You already know what it means because it's visually intuitive, and I'm practicing the world's auxiliary spoken language called Esperanto. Next.
She faris kolĉenon per bidojs.
One more time.
She faris kolĉenon per bidojs.
What is called chinon?
Kolĉenon means necklace.
Okay, one more time. She made a necklace, right?
Yes, exactly. She faris kolĉenon per bidojs means she made a necklace with beads.
Oh, okay. What's the word for beads again?
Budojs means beads.
Can you compare that to the word birds?
Certainly. Bidojs means beads, while birdoj means birds. The pronunciation is...
They sound so similar. What's the language of origin for beads in this case?
Bidojs in Esperanto comes from the German word bite or bete, meaning bead. It shares roots with similar words in other European languages, and it's adapted to Esperanto's phonetic structure.
Okay. So something else I want to expand on. Another huge reason why I'm doing this, why I'm creating Universal Sign Language. If you've watched this whole live so far, you'll notice that almost everything has a European root. You know, one of the major criticisms of Esperanto is that it's Eurocentric, and that's right. It is impossible to claim otherwise. It is 100% certain. That's why we're creating a Universal Sign Language as an extension of that, to hopefully provide a tool for people that don't have Latin characters that make up their native language, like people in Asia, people that are in Arabic-speaking countries, people that are in India. their alphabet is so different that they have a real disadvantage learning the language. But I'm hoping that everyone on earth can understand what this means, along with the other thousands of signs we're going to create. That's what we're going to build off of. That's why I'm doing this. Next.
Li faris murpentraĵon en la urbo.
Okay. You made something in the city, right?
Yes, li faris murpentraĵon en la urbo means he made a mural in the city.
Can you pronounce mural again?
Murpentraĵon. Pronounced murpentraĵon.
One more time.
Murpentraĵon.
Okay, next.
Ŝi kreis belan mozaikon.
One more time.
Ŝi kreis belan mozaikon.
Okay, so she created a beautiful mural. Is that what you said again?
Close. Ŝi kreis belan mozaikon means she created a beautiful mosaic.
I don't even know what mosaic means in English. I know it's a piece of art, but can you tell me what it means?
A mosaic is an art form where a picture or pattern is created by arranging small pieces of materials like glass, stone, or tile. These pieces are often set into a surface to form a decorative design or image.
What's the language of origin?
The word mosaic comes from the Latin musivum, which means work of the muses. It passed into English through Old French and Middle English, retaining its meaning related to decorative art made of small pieces.
Next.
Li ornamis vazon per pentraĵoj.
One more time.
Li ornamis vazon per pentraĵoj.
What's the verb?
Ornamis is the verb, meaning decorated.
Okay, so repeat the sentence.
Li ornamis vazon per pentraĵoj.
I'm having trouble hearing a couple words. Can you translate this one?
Certainly. Li ornamis vazon per pentraĵoj means he decorated a vase with paintings.
Okay, what's the word for vase?
Vazon is the word for vase.
Okay, next.
Ŝi skulptis statueton el marmoro.
Armoro. Is that a desk? It's a piece of furniture, right?
No, marmoro means marble. So, ŝi skulptis statueton el marmoro translates to she sculpted a small statue from marble.
There's definitely a word that sounds like that word that is a piece of furniture, armaro or something like that. What am I confusing it with?
You might be thinking of armaro, which means cabinet or wardrobe in Esperanto. Marmoro means marble, while armaro is a piece of furniture.
How do you spell the word marble in Esperanto?
Marmoro.
That's not spelling it, spell it.
Marmoro. Marmoro.
Okay, next.
Li faris lignan kadron por sia pentraĵo.
So he made a painting of a cauldron?
Not quite. Li faris lignan kadron por sia pentraĵo means he made a wooden frame for his painting.
Okay. So the next few signs that I'm going to make, they're probably going to be the pronouns. So I, me, he, she, all of those pronouns, because they're going to be in almost every single sentence. So if anybody doesn't know, we're starting with the most visually intuitive signs first. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and avoid some of these signs that follow a strict set of rules for types of words. A good example is people or professions or type of person. A lot of times they'll correlate to an action, and then they'll have a sign for person. So if you're a teacher, you'll have a sign for the verb to teach, and then the word person added afterwards. And that's an ASL. And there's a similar structure in many sign languages around the world. But we're going to try and avoid that because we're not entirely sure which structure we're going to stick with, and it's likely going to change. But some of the most visually intuitive basic nouns, basic verbs, we're going to start there. And the next ones we're going to do are the pronouns. So they're pretty universal as well. This one is me, that's you. I think knee, you go from like shoulder to shoulder in most of, in most sign languages is something going across your body for we. I think that's an ASL is very similar to that as well. But That's probably going to be in the first 10 signs as well. I could probably officiate those soon too. By the way, we do have a system we're doing. So we're going to introduce fast, and then we're going to put them through 100 sentences, and then we're going to be in an implementation and testing phase. And then after that, after quite a bit of analyzing, we're going to officiate each sign until we have about 50. So that's our plan. We're going to keep going. Next.
Li eltranchis xablonon por pentrarto.
One more time.
Li eltranchis xablonon por pentrarto.
What's the verb?
Eltranchis is the verb, meaning cut out.
Okay, so repeat the whole sentence.
Li eltranchis xablonon por pentrarto.
I don't know.
He cut out a stencil for painting.
Oh, okay. What's the word for stencil?
Xablonon is the word for stencil.
What's the language of origin?
Schablono comes from the French word gabarit, which means template or pattern. It's used in various languages to refer to a guide for shapes or designs.
Now, let's break down the word to cut out, because I know tranchi is the verb to cut. I know tranchilo is either a knife or a pair of scissors. Can you expand on these words?
Certainly. Tranchi means to cut, and tranchilo refers to a cutting tool like a knife or scissors. When we add el as a prefix to tranchi, it means to cut out or to cut from. Hence, el tranchi means to cut out.
Can you provide more examples of verbs that follow that structure? It may be many of them, but just give me a couple.
Certainly. Here are a couple. El preni. To preni means to take, and el preni means to jump. El salti means to jump, and el salti means to jump out. These follow the same structure where el indicates an action going out from something.
Okay, so if someone jumps out of a truck, make that sentence.
Li el saltis en la camiono.
Jumps in a truck, make that sentence.
Li saltis en la camionon.
Okay, next.
Ŝi faris brodaĵon sur la tolo.
Let's explore a new, nuanced topic for practice.
Of course. How about we explore the theme of cooking and culinary arts?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. Here's a sentence to start. Vi bakis panon en la forno.
Whew. We are baking something in the oven. What's the noun?
Bakis is the verb meaning baked, and pano is the noun for bread.
Okay, so we baked bread in the oven, right?
Yes, li bakis panon en la forno means he baked bread in the oven.
Next.
Ŝi tranĉis legomojn por la salato.
She cut. I don't know how to say this word in English, but I guess you're saying legumes, right? Legumes?
Yes, legomojn means vegetables in this context.
Okay.
The sentence means she cut vegetables for the salad.
Okay, so whenever I ask for a specific word, don't translate the whole sentence, just help me with that specific word. Next. Next. All right, let's continue practicing.
Li fritis ovojn en pato.
I fried eggs in the pan, or he fried eggs in the pan.
Yes, exactly. Li fritis ovojn en pato means he fried eggs in the pan.
Next.
Ŝi boligis akvon por la teo.
So, she boiled water for something. Can you repeat the sentence?
She boligis akvon por la teo.
For the tea. Okay, so she boiled water for the tea, right?
Yes, that's correct. She boligis akvon por la teo means she boiled water for the tea.
What's the language of origin for the word to boil?
The word boligi comes from the root boli, which means to boil in Esperanto. It's related to the Latin word bulire, which also means to boil.
Okay, next.
Li rosti.
So, if you are watching, I am making a universal sign language based on Esperanto. This is the first word that we are introducing. And I'm practicing Esperanto right now. It's the world's auxiliary spoken and written language. Continue.
She faris supon el fresha y legomoi.
That was so fast. She made soup with vegetables?
Yes, she faris supon el fresha y legomoi
With
means
fresh
she made soup with fresh vegetables.
Next.
Li mixis paston por kukoi.
So he mixed something. Repeat it.
Li mixis paston por kukoi.
Paston. Is that like dough?
Yes, pasto means dough or batter. So the sentence means
Don't tell
he
me.
mixed
He mixed dough for the cookies, right?
Yes, exactly. Li mixis paston por kukoi means he mixed dough for the cakes.
Oh, the cakes. What is cookies? It starts with a G, right?
Yes, cookies in Esperanto is biskuitoj.
Okay. Next.
Li grilis viandon sur la fajro.
Okay, so he is grilling meat in the fire? I know that's not perfect. Repeat the sentence.
Li grilis viandon sur la fajro.
Okay, that was right. He grilled meat on the fire, right?
Yes, that's correct. Li grilis viandon sur la fajro means he grilled meat on the fire.
Nice. Next.
She spicis la supon kun herbojs.
So, species. I know spizo is spice. So, she put spices in whatever she's cooking. Repeat the sentence.
She spicis la supon kun herbojs.
Okay, how do you say this verb? Are you saying she spiced? She put spices in the soup with herbs? I'm confused a little bit.
Yes, spicis means spiced or seasoned. So she spicis la supon kun herbojs means she seasoned the soup with herbs.
Okay, next.
Li garnis la deserton per fructois.
Garden. What is that verb?
Garnis means garnished or decorated.
Okay, repeat the sentence.
Li garnis la deserton per fructois.
Okay, so he garnished. I forgot the down. He garnished the soup with fruit. Is that what you said?
He garnished the dessert with fruits.
Okay. Next.
She preparis paston por la pizzo.
She prepared batter or dough for the pizza.
Yes, she preparis paston por la pizzo means she prepared dough for the pizza.
Next.
Li bakis kukon en la forno.
He baked a cake in the oven.
Yes, li bakis kukon en la forno means he baked a cake in the oven.
Break down the language of origin for oven.
The word forno comes from the Latin fornus, meaning oven. It's similar in many Romance languages, like forno in Italian and Portuguese.
Next. Next.
She fritis terpomojn en oleo.
Okay. One more time.
She fritis terpomojn en oleo.
What's the first noun?
Terpomoj means potatoes.
So she fried the potatoes in oil?
Yes, that's correct. She fritis terpomojn en oleo means she fried the potatoes in oil.
What's the language of origin for potatoes?
The word terpomoi is constructed from tero, meaning earth, and pomo, meaning apple. It literally translates to earth apples, similar to how some other languages refer to potatoes.
What other languages?
In French, potatoes are called pommes de terre, which also means apples of the earth. In German, they're known as Kartoffel, but the concept of earth apple is present in several other European languages as well.
Next.
Liquidis rison en cacerolo.
One more time.
Liquidis rison en cacerolo.
What's the noun?
Rison means rice in this context.
Okay, the whole sentence one more time.
Liquidis rison en cacerolo.
Okay. So he cooked rice with a casserole?
Yes, exactly. Liquidis rison en cacerolo means he cooked rice in a casserole.
What's the language of origin for casserole?
The word cacerolo comes from the French casserole, which refers to a deep pan used for cooking. It's been adopted into many languages with similar meanings.
Next.
Ŝi rostis legomojn en la forno.
She roasted vegetables in the oven.
Yes, ŝi rostis legomojn en la forno means she roasted vegetables in the oven.
Okay, next.
Li grindis kafon per muelilo.
One more time.
Li grindis kafon per muelilo.
Okay, so I'm a little confused because it sounds like you're saying to grind, but I've heard of a different word for grind. Is that correct?
Yes, grandi is not the correct word for grind in Esperanto. The correct verb is mueli. So, li muelis kafon per muelilo means he ground coffee with a grinder.
Okay, that's why I was so confused. What's the verb to grind in the sentence one more time?
The correct verb is muelis. So, li muelis kafon per muelilo means he ground coffee with a grinder.
Oh, okay. I understand. Next.
Ŝi bakis biskuitojn en la forno.
So you baked something in the oven. What did you bake?
Ŝi bakis biskuitojn en la forno
Biscuits.
means she baked cookies in the oven.
So I'm super curious. What's the language of origin for cookies again? You may have already told me.
Sure, the word biscuitoi comes from the French biscuit, which itself is derived from the Latin bis poctus, meaning twice baked. Many languages have similar words for cookies or biscuits.
Okay, let's explore another nuanced topic.
Absolutely. How about we focus on gardening and plant care for the next topic?
Sure, why not?
Great. Here's a sentence to start. Ŝi plantis florojn en la ĝardeno.
Okay, she planted flowers in the garden. Let's go to a different topic, actually.
Of course. What topic would you like to explore next?
Let's do like space or something.
Sure. Let's explore space. Here's a sentence. Li observis la stelojn per teleskopo.
So EU, hello. I'm making a universal sign language. I don't know what your name is, EU, but this is the first sign that we're introducing. Do you know what it means? Okay, sorry. All right, give me a sentence.
No worry.
Give me a sentence about space.
Li spektis la lunon per teleskopo.
So he looked at the moon in the telescope, or with a telescope.
Yes, exactly. Li spektis la lunon per teleskopo means he looked at the moon with a telescope.
Next.
Ŝi rigardis la stelojn en la nokta ĉielo.
Teloin. What is teloin?
Stelojn means stars. So, ŝi rigardis la stelojn en la nokta ĉielo means she...
So EU. I don't know what your name is again, but no, we're not learning Spanish now. I do learn Spanish. I have a Spanish podcast, a bilingual podcast, where I've documented myself learning Spanish while my friend in Colombia is learning English. We've got over 100 episodes. It's all foundational work for what we're doing right now. And the language we're learning is Esperanto. It's the world's auxiliary spoken and written language. And what I'm doing is creating an extension of that. called Signilo. And it's really just a response to criticism I've received because, and here's the thing, the language Esperanto has received a lot of criticism saying that it's Eurocentric, and it's true. You know, people that are in China, people that are in Asian countries, a lot of the world really has a real disadvantage learning this language because it looks so similar to European languages. So what I'm doing is creating a sign language as an extension and as a tool. So people in these areas have a way, a practical way to learn it, and it kind of levels the playing field. That's what I'm doing. Next.
Li esploris la galaxion. Esploris means explored. So the sentence means he explored the galaxy.
Next.
Ŝi malkovris novan planeton.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, badass. I'm actually into learning languages. That's super cool. Check out, so I'm responding in the chat from that language actually, or from that podcast, Escucha Orlando, 100 plus episodes. We're super serious. It's all just foundational work. You know, when I first started this project, everyone just told me I was just speaking out of ignorance, saying, okay, my claim was that Esperanto is easy to learn and it's practical to learn it, and the world should, I guess, put more effort into trying to understand itself and understand each other. And everyone in these forums is just telling me I'm an idiot, just wasting my time speaking out of ignorance because I've never even learned a second language. How could I claim that Esperanto is easy if I've never learned a second language? So I started in a damn laundromat, asking people to help me learn Spanish, and eventually found an incredible partner in Colombia that helped me learn Spanish. And that's how I started this whole thing. And yeah, now after 100 episodes, now that I have been learning Spanish for over a year, I think it's strengthened my position. Esperanto really is that much easier to learn. And that's why I'm doing this. So, and here's a good reason to think about it too. Over a year I've been learning Spanish, and I probably only know 50 to 60% of the irregular verbs when it comes to conjugation. 50 to 60% after a year. In 45 seconds, you can learn how to conjugate every single verb that exists in Esperanto, that exists in the entire language. You can learn that in 40 seconds. It's been a year I've been learning Spanish, and that's arguably a pretty easy language to learn as well. Over a year, still only know about half. In 40 seconds, you can learn how to conjugate every single word in Esperanto. And that is an absurd advantage that we should take advantage of collectively as a species. Next.
Li sendis sateliton en la orbiton.
Actually, so I just received a question. So help me understand how easy it is to conjugate all the verbs in Esperanto and compare that to the level of difficulty for something like Spanish.
Conjugating verbs in Esperanto is quite straightforward. In Esperanto, verbs have fixed endings for each tense. As for present, is for past, os for future, and o for imperative. There are no irregular verbs, making it consistent and easy to learn. In Spanish, verbs have many irregularities and various conjugation patterns depending on the subject and tense, making it more complex. This simplicity in Esperanto is one reason it's considered an easy language to learn.
And so, to expand on that, I bet you even in your native language, it would take you all day just to come up with a list, of all the irregular verbs in your language. Most people don't even know how many there are, much less what they are and how to conjugate them in different languages. But you can come up with a list for Esperanto in about 0 seconds because the list is 0 words. There are no irregular verbs. And I just think it's useful. And that's the whole thing too. You know, so much of the Esperanto community, as much as I think it's a really cool community, everyone just focuses on, I just think their vision is too far and too impractical. They're saying that Esperanto is going to be the key to world peace and everybody loving each other. You know, maybe that really does happen. But I think for that to actually happen, people have to know it exists and people have to, I guess, start speaking it. So what I'm doing is focusing on the utility first. You know, everyone else can still believe that it can do all these things, but I'm a realist. I believe that if every single person on earth actually spoke the same language immediately, I think it would actually result in so much more hate being spread around the world. I imagine there would be so much ignorance spread around the world. So many people would be talking about, you know, all these complex geopolitical topics that they have no idea about. I believe that if everyone could speak the same language right now, it would be too fast. So I think it's useful that it would be a slow process. That's kind of what I'm building on too. But yeah, I want to reframe the conversation in the Esperanto community. Instead of focusing on this ideal utopia, let's just focus on the raw utility of the language. And I'm going to demonstrate the utility of a language by accomplishing something that's supposed to be hard, like creating a universal sign language that no one has still successfully done yet on a large scale. And here's the thing too, I received so much criticism about speaking on international sign and gestuino and gestuino. By the way, I don't even know how to pronounce gestuino or gestuino. I just don't care. But the reality is that a true universal sign language has not been adopted, and we can do it now. That's what we're gonna do. Next. Next. Okay, let's continue practicing Esperanto sentences.
Sure, here's another sentence. She sendi signalon alla Cosmo.
Cosmo. It's like something like skies, right?
Yes, Cosmo means cosmos or space, referring to the universe. So the sentence means
Don't
she
tell
sent
me.
a signal to space.
Okay, next.
Li esploris la surfacon de la luno.
Fatson? What is fatson?
Surfacon means surface. So the sentence means he explored the surface of the moon.
Okay, I'm wrapping up for the day. But here's the thing too. I've already received so much criticism, so much negative feedback, and so many debates and arguments that people want to get into. But the only real thing, the only real position that I want to defend, that I really feel strongly about, is the utility of global communication and the absurd level of practicality we have to accomplish that now. You know? That's it. A lot of people are saying that this isn't how sign languages work. They're formed differently. Ask the deaf community. I've just heard nothing but talking. Something, just people arguing. Just people just talking and doing nothing. I just want to, I just want to do some action. I want to take some action. That's it. I may be wrong. I'm just gonna keep going. That's all I got.